शान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातां सगना रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनासहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सगना ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः नमो ओं विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे So, yeah. And I'd like to welcome everyone for this session for joining today. Thank you so much for joining. So today we'll be discussing about actually 3, 4, and 5. If time permits, we'll go for 6th chapter also. So just as a short recap, what our Gautam Gopinath Prabhu discussed last week. So Prabhuji was discussing about, especially was discussing about the first 3 chapters summary, and then the stories from Padma Purana about Gita Mahatmya, and then we recited the slokas. So in the same way, we will continue today also. Just a recap of his, whatever we discussed. Prabhuji discussed about first chapter, about how the Arjuna observes the armies and becomes overwhelmed to fight or to leave from the battlefield. So, and then the summary of the Gita, and Arjuna accepts Guru, Krishna as Guru, and he understands from Krishna that we are not the body, we are the soul, our true identity of the body. So, and then we just explained about Karma Yoga, art of work, being this world, how we should be. So, how we should perform our work, how the work should be done as a sacrifice to Lord, and what is the yoga ladder, rungs of the ladder, like Karma Yoga, Sakam Karma Yoga, Nishkam Karma Yoga. So, and what is the real enemy in this world, which is lust. And then Roji explained about story of Susharma, and we have seen how Susharma actually went through different lives, like he reincarnated as bull, again as a Brahmana. So while he was a Brahmana, he could not use that form of life, which is a juncture, like human form of life is junction, where he can go back to Godhead, which he cannot use it properly. And then he did odd sinful activities and so on. Like we can see how he reincarnated in different lower forms of life, especially like bull. And because of the lady giving that pious credits, which he heard from a parrot. So and parrot heard from some other sage. So the glory of chapter 1, which he could got the pious credits, with that he could able to again got the human form of life, again go ahead and practicing it. And yeah, Prabhuji explained all these past times lessons we can learn is the power of prayers and reincarnation. We can see an example here, and how here they are reciting chapter 1, recited by someone else, someone could hear, and just by hearing someone by reciting, they all got the credits. So it's wonderful that we are got an opportunity to discuss about Bhagavad Gita, to learn about Bhagavad Gita. It's very fortunate that we are here, and we are also going to recite the few verses from the chapters. And next chapter 2, Prabhuji explained about story of Devashrama. He's also a great Brahmana, and he wants to know about the Lord. He want to know more details. When he went met a yogi, and furthermore he went to meet the herd, who is taking care of that sheep herd, and he told about the past time, how they explained the glories of chapter 2 was written on the rock stone. And by reciting the chapter 2, there the animals, although tiger and sheep, they have the enmity, but when they came there, the place where it was recited, the power of that place, there is no envy between those animals. They were close to each other, and the tiger and sheep were together, and whoever goes there, there is no thirst and there is no hunger. So that was the place where they recited chapter 2. So that was glory of chapter 2 recitation there in that place. And then Roj explained about chapter 3, story of Jada. So there also we could see how the Jada, we have discussed in the last class, that he also did a lot of sinful activities. He amassed a lot of wealth, but he was killed and became a ghost. So his son did the Pinda Pradhan to in Varanasi, and when he was there coming the same tree where he was died, Jada earlier, and he was a devotee of the Lord. He was reading chapter 3 from Bhagavad Gita. So because of reciting chapter 3 from Bhagavad Gita devotionally, his father got a form of Lord. I mean, he could able to go back to Vaikuntha, and he requested him to do that for all others also. So even he did that. The power of chapter 3 recitation, you could see that if you recite chapter 3 very sincerely, the result what we can see is the whole hellish planet got emptied and all of them went back to Vaikuntha. So that's the power of reciting Bhagavad Gita. So we could see from this past time. Yeah, that's what just I want to give quick to recap what all happened last class. So just going ahead, we'll just quickly recap this and then the past time from Padma Purana, Gita Mahatmya, other chapters 3, 4, 4, 5, and 6, and then we'll start reciting the verses. So here, as we discussed earlier also about this, I'll just give brief. Like fourth chapter talks about transcendental knowledge, which protects from lust. So on it, the short, you see there is an acronym here, ears. That means Shruti. The knowledge what we get, the transcendental knowledge is through hearing. Earlier also we could see people used to hear once, they could be able to remember, they could be able to assimilate, and they could be able to reproduce as it is. So without any missing. So that was our Shruti. So we generally gain the knowledge by hearing from authorities. That is like in Parampara. So eternal education comes from Parampara. E stands for eternal education. A stands for accurate understanding. So the understanding exactly was said by Lord here, how to understand the transcendental knowledge and connection with the Lord, and remove reactions. Like how by doing action here, how will we come out of these reactions? And let's talk about sacrifice. What is the yajna we should perform, which will help us to come out of this material world, and what is the sacrifice to whom we have to offer it to it? Explained in this fourth chapter, the transcendental knowledge. And also fourth chapter explains about all pride or ego and surrender ourselves to the Hare Krishna.
Yeah, we can hear you, Prabhuji. You can go on.
Okay, Prabhuji. It was showing some internet connection unstable. Okay, thank you, Prabhuji. The sacrifice was telling about how we don't have any false pride or ego, and we surrender to the Guru and take instruction from him. So that's fourth chapter about transcendental knowledge. And fifth chapter talks about Karma Yoga, action in Krishna consciousness, how we stay in this world and be out of the world, and practice the Karma Yoga here, how we should do the action in Krishna consciousness in this world. But you are in this world, but out of this world. And who are the three doers actually? Like soul, super soul, and material nature. Lord explains that in this theme of three doers, 13 to 16 verses, and explains about equal vision. Equal vision is about how the vision should be. A person who has knowledge, what does the real knowledge mean? So Vidya Vinaya Sampanne, Brahmane Gavhastine, Sunichayo Sopaikocha, Pandita Samadarshina. So is a Pandita, one is a learned person who sees everyone as a spirit soul, part and parcel of the Lord. That is explained in the equal vision. And then peace, everyone looks for peace. What is the peace formula? Krishna explains in this 5th chapter, 29th verse. That is Bhoktaram Yagnatapasam Sarvaloka Maheshwaram Suratam Sarabhutanam Gnatamam Shanti Mrichati. Explain that in this peace part. And then in 6th chapter comes about Ashtanga Yoga, realize the super soul in heart, art of mind control. So here it stands for easy. Easy is an acronym. E stands for enemy or friend. So our mind, we can make our mind as an enemy or friend, the way we deal with the mind. So if you make our mind a friend, we will be protected. If you make mind an enemy, we will be destroyed. So it's very important that we should have our mind controlled. And Krishna explained here how to do it. And then further explains about Ashtanga Yoga. He explains in depth here how to perform the 8-step Asta Anga Yoga. So it explains about Yama, Niyama, Pratyahara, Dharana, Dhyana, Samadhi. All the 8 steps explains in sequence, and how it is so difficult to practice in Kali Yuga, and it's very difficult. And further explains about a yogi who performs the spirituality, what happens to him if he is success or failure. So he explains in this next theme of 37 to 45 verses, and then finally explains about of all the yogas, what is the topmost yoga. And Krishna explains that a person who is performing Bhakti Yoga is the topmost. Yoginam api sarvesham madgatena antaratmana. It tells that person who always thinks about me, meditates on me. So he is the supreme. And in purport, Prabhupada explains there the chanting of Hare Krishna mantra meditation is the topmost which you can do in this process of bhakti, which is the topmost process in Kali Yuga. So these are the few glimpses of these chapters and connection. And 4, 5, and 6. We'll now proceed with the fourth chapter. The fourth chapter, as Prabhuji was explaining that how can understand the importance of every chapter. I was just reading through this Padma Purana Gita Mahatma, where they were sequentially they are mentioning about every chapter importance recitation. So I was really I heard it long back, but every story I didn't read in depth. So when I was going through, I really felt spiritual knowledge in us. So it's really powerful. So especially chapter 1, 2, and 3, we just saw the past tense. We'll go through now chapter 4, chapter 5, and chapter 6, and then we'll continue with the recitation. So chapter 4, actually I mentioned a story of two bale trees. We'll see what is this bale trees and what is the story behind. So it's very interesting story. So whatever I could hear is, so there was a great saint. His name is Bharat Maharaj. He's a Bharat, and we call him Maharaj because he's a saint. And he was in Varanasi, the place, the spirituality.
Sumita Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu.
I think somebody said not able to hear. We are able to hear. Probably Shubha Mataji, you want to log in and log in back. Anybody has any other problem in hearing? We could able to hear properly. Anyone has apart from Shubha has problem?
We can hear Prabhuji. Mataji, I think, did not join via audio. That's how Mataji is not able to hear.
Somebody can type Shubha message.
Yeah, I'll do that, Prabhuji.
Please go ahead. Sorry.
No problem. Thank you, Prabhuji. So this was the past time, like about importance of reciting chapter 4. So I was saying about Bharat Maharaj. There was a longer time. There was Bharat saint. He's called as Maharaj. He was living in Varanasi. So he was reciting every day that chapter 4 of Bhagavad Gita very sincerely. So once a time he visited a temple, Lord Krishna temple in Tapodan. He took darshan of Lord Krishna and he was coming back on the way. So while he was coming up on the way, coming back on the way, he could see there are two bale trees which was there, and he thought it would be a long time to go home, so to the temple. So he thought, let me take some rest here. So he took the rest under the two trees. So there are two trees which were roots nearby. So and he kept her head on one of the root of the tree, and he feet another root of the tree, and he just laid down there. He was sleeping. He took rest there. So after some time passed over, Bharat Maharaj went back to the Varanasi temple, back to his place. Few days after he passed away, he went away from that place. So both the trees, they got dried up, and they both got died. And people are, means it was not known, but yeah, they both got sorry, excuse me. So dried up and both got died. And later, after many years, around 7 to 8 years after that, in the same temple Varanasi again, as sincerely Bharat Maharaj used to sit and always open the Bhagavad Gita book and used to recite chapter 4 very, very sincerely. He used to recite every day. So when he was reciting, that time what happens, two girls of age around 7 years, they were going there near the temple. They came with their father to Varanasi temple, and they saw Bharat Maharaj sitting over there. So immediately they could able to recollect, and they went there and to offer obeisances to Bharat Maharaj. They took obeisances. They took his blessings, and they told that you are our protector. You are our you only protected us from this very dangerous form of life. And he was not understanding what they are talking, because those two girls are explaining that how he protected. He was not understanding, and he want to know more. How we are saying that I am your protector, and how you know me. First of all, he wants to know more. So then they asked both the girls. So please tell me, who are you and how you know me? How there is a connection? How I am your protector? Then both girls started explaining the past time which happened. So they told that there was a sage called Sachdapa. He was at the banks of Godavari, and he was doing very severe austerities and penances. And that sage was completely meditating on Lord and praying for Lord, chanting the holy names of Lord. And he was doing austerities, plus he was serving the Lord so nicely. He became so absorbed in Lord's devotional service. So he was like, his fame was well known to everyone. Even Lord Brahma came to know about him. So that was his fame. So because he was such a pure, he was practicing so nicely devotional service, he was known to Brahma also. Brahma used to come and talk to Sachdapa sage, discussing about devotional service, what is the glories of devotional service, asking some questions and getting answers from him. So that was the fame of Sachdapa spread there. So what we all know about Indra, how Indra takes this. So Indra was like completely how this person is getting so fame. If he gets so and so fame, maybe he will become Indra and he occupy my post. So like that, Indra was thinking, and Indra wants to destroy his fame by making him fall down from his position. So what he thought, he sent two of the Apsaras to make him fall down. Though, so those two Apsaras only, those two girls. So we'll see now. Those two Apsaras were sent to Satstapa sage, and those Apsaras came and they started dancing before Satstapa sage. He was completely meditating on the Lord. So that time they try to induce him. They start exposing their bodies to Sastapa sage so that he'll get attracted and he may fall down. So by seeing this, he was disturbed. He immediately took water from his pot and he started cursing them. He cursed them that you will become trees and you will be staying there for a long time as a tree standing over there as a bale trees in near the Tapodan place where you will be standing there as a bale trees. So immediately the both Apsaras they started crying and they begged forgiveness from the sage Satstapa. So they begged, please forgive us, and please help us. So how can we come out of this curse? So then he mercifully, as a saint, he told them that there will be a great saint called Bharat Maharaj. So who will be coming over there, and by having his association, by having his touch, you will get again the human form of life, and then you can again practice the devotional service. And that was the thing Satstapa told to those two girls. So those two Apsaras only, the trees were there in the Tapodan place as a trees, and where Bharat Maharaj went and took rest there, and because of his touch of the pure association, and he was reciting Bhagavad Gita there under the trees, chapter 4. So those two girls could able to come out of the life of tree life, and they got the human form of next life as a devotees, taken birth to a Brahmana devotee family where they could able to practice devotional life. So and then they understood and they explained this to Bharat Maharaj. He also felt very happy, and Bharat Maharaj also explained them about chapter 4 glories which you read there, and they also started reading chapter 4 every day, and they practiced devotional life in their life, in their further life. They went ahead and practiced it. So chapter 4, that's the glories of chapter 4. So we can learn so many things from this. As Rosie explained about reincarnation, we could see one more factor of reincarnation. We could see how they were exposing their bodies, so and they became tree in next life. You could see here in this picture. If you expose nowadays, culture is the people expose their body more, right? So they'll become tree in next life if you expose their body more. So here they become tree in next life. So that's one thing we can learn, and we could see the power of association, and where devotees recite Bhagavad Gita, and by reciting Bhagavad Gita from the tree form of life, in the next life they could get human form of life. So power of prayers again, same principles what Prabhuji said, we can apply to this also. And one more pastime we can recollect from Krishna's pastimes is Damodar Leela.
I have one small question, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu.
So why Indra will be doing all sort of things like this?
Yes, Prabhuji. Yeah, I will explain whatever I could hear, Prabhuji. Maybe Prabhuji can correct. So Indra is Karma Mishra Bhakta, Prabhuji. He is not pure devotee of the Lord, but he will. If you see the way of behaving Indra, we can learn lessons from Indra. So we should not be like that. So always Lord teaches some lessons through the past times. So basically, Indra is the person who will be always Lord will help us to understand how we should not be there. We should not behave like that. So, and Indra is not a pure devotee of Lord, first of all. If he is a pure devotee of Lord, he will not be doing all these things. So he is Karma Mishra Bhakta. So he is a devotee of the Lord, but not pure devotee of the Lord. So Lord shows pastimes where we can learn that we should not be like this through this pastimes. So Prabhuji, if you want, you can add Prabhuji. Goshen Gopinath Prabhu.
No, that's fine. Basically, he's insecure for his post. Anybody who this is like post. Indra is a post. It's not a person who occupies it. So tomorrow somebody does Ashwamedha or like this tapas, they will be granted the post. So he's just insecure about his position. So always he's trying to take the benefits or try to stop other person is coming. That's the only reason. Because anybody can occupy this post. This is like there are personalities behind this post. That's how we understand. Yeah. Please go ahead.
Okay, Prabhuji.
So one, yeah, Prabhu. So one thing is, so if he is doing such sort of mischievous things or such sort of wrong things and troubling the devotees, is he not removed from the power?
It's just the insecurity, and Krishna time and again he is being chastising, making a correction, because it's like out of 4-5 sons, one son might be mischievous, right? Sometimes he's also been cursed not to be in the position. He again gets back his position. So he tried to give some punishments here and there as well. So he get correct himself. So that keep happening.
Okay, bro.
And next life, there will be another person who's identified for the post. So after this, his lifetime, there will be another Indra who will be occupying that post. So there are people who've been already identified to take that role.
Okay, bro. Okay, got it. So it's not one Indra, it's multiple Indras. They'll be taking
Yeah, it's like
multiple
a chief minister
according to
post.
the land.
Yeah, it's like a chief minister post, like Bali Maharaj, those the next in line like that. So there are people who have already are ready for the post, already identified, and they are waiting for their term to come. So after this term, chief minister 5 years completed, then he'll be like elected other person. So there are people already in line identified.
Yeah. Okay, bro. Got it. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Roji. So yeah, and yeah, we can understand the importance of reciting chapter 4 here. So how it's really helpful for people to, like, they have done the activities where they became trees, and they came up again, they took the human form of life, and they could able to practice devotional life. So we'll go to chapter 5 quickly. Chapter 5 is about story of a Pingala name, is the name called Pingala, is the Brahmana. So again, we could see here one more past time about chapter 5, how the recitation chapter 5 was very so glorious. So in this past time, there was one Brahmana called Pingala in Madra place called Madra, and that Brahmana, he was not interested in any Vedic study, so he stopped all his Vedic study and started learning the instruments, playing instruments, doing some music. He became so popular that he was playing so nicely instruments and so nicely singing songs. So he was like taken by the king to his kingdom, and there he was given all the things required. King gave him everything because king wanted to enjoy the music and playing instruments from listening instruments, playing and listening instruments from him. So king gave him everything. So after going there, because of getting a lot of wealth and other things, so he got diluted, and he was like having illicit sex with other people and started criticizing many people to the king. Was talking to king of many other criticizing many others in the kingdom. And this Pingala Brahmana, so he was indulging like illicit sex like many other man's wife there. So he was completely diluted. So there he got married to one more wife. He got married to a wife called, her name is Aruna, and she's also Sudrani. She's also having same kind of affairs with many people. So this person came to know about her affairs there, and she was very like, she thought, he came to he came to know about me. So how she could not take that. So what she did, night when he was sleeping, she killed him. She stabbed him. She killed him. She buried him under the ground there nearby home, and she did like that. And yeah, that life has been passed. She killed him, Pingala Brahmana there. So what happened? He died. He went to hellish planets. He took all the sufferings over there, and then next life he became a vulture. Next life became vulture, and Aruna also died, uh, and she also did a lot of sinful activities. She also came to hellish planets, and she got all the sufferings there. And further, Aruna also became a female parrot in the next life. So because all the sinful activities, whatever they committed in the life. So and next what happens furthermore, like once vulture, which is who is a Pingala Brahmana, became next life as a vulture, and Aruna became female parrot. So vulture saw Aruna, female parrot, and he understood that he recollected his past life, that she's the one who killed me in the last life. So he became so angry. He went to a female parrot. He caught hold of the female parrot and started sharply piercing the female parrot with the beaks. So he pierced and killed the parrot, and parrot fell down. That was happening near the place of a bank of river, and he started piercing that parrot, and parrot fell down into a human skull, into the water. Parrot fell down into human skull there nearby. Human skull was there in the bank of river. It fell down into the human skull, and then immediately after some time, vulture was there only on the tree, standing, sitting on the tree. That time hunter came there, and he killed. He shot an arrow and he killed vulture also. Vulture also fell down directly into that skull which is there in the river bank of the river. And then what happens? So it was like so shocking that after died both of them, they went to actually they went to again Hellas planets, and there it was shocked that Yamaraj told release them, don't bring, they should not be coming here. So actually they should supposed to go to Vaikunta, and they were shocked. So actually they see if the past life they did lot of sins which you cannot even imagine. They should suffer a lot in hellish planets. But how come they relieved? They asked, they want to know more. That time Yamaraj explains them. There is a great devotee of Lord called what? So he's a pure devotee of Lord. So he was practicing chanting recitation of Bhagavad Gita chapter 5 near the bank of that river. So he practiced there so long time the Bhagavad Gita, and he was reciting there every day. So he was a great devotee of Lord. So when he was passed away, he was put into the same river, and that skull was his skull. So although he passed away, he recited chapter 5 there so sincerely. You could see the power of the body of the devotee. Even it's there, the gross body which is available there, that which is a skull that has a power which has taken them back to Vaikunta. So because of reciting chapter 5 there sincerely, regularly there, so even is the touch of that skull of both Pingala and Aruna, who are like did lot of sinful activities, all the sins are vanished and they went back to Vaikunta in the same life. That's the pastime here. You could see the importance of reciting chapter 5. So even the person who recited long back and he passed away, the skull of the body, touch of that skull itself has given them I mean, they got the chance to go back to Vaikunta. So that's the power of reciting chapter 5. So any questions here? Okay. So in this pastime also we could see the importance of same. Like we could see the reincarnation. We could understand the importance of prayers, reciting chapter Bhagavad Gita, and goal should be go back to Vaikunta, so spiritual world. And then chapter 6. This again I'll quickly explain. Just keeping track of time.
One question, bro.
Yes, Proji.
So when we talk about the body and soul, whatever we do, whatever we chant, and whatever we pray to Lord Krishna, it all belongs to the soul, right? Not to the body. It is just material body.
Yes, Proji. Yes. So whatever we do as a devotional service, like praying, chanting, all these activities as a part of devotional service, it will be there with us as a permanent bank account. So in this lifetime, if you can complete whatever you can complete, that percentage will be there, like 20%, 30%, 50%. Next life will continue from wherever we left. It will be there with us only. It's like soul. It will be there with us, soul's part as account.
Yeah. Yes. So
yes.
So my point is like when we say it has fallen onto the skull and all these things. So it is just a gross body, right? How come the skull has such a purity and all this?
Yeah. So yeah, that means I'm saying it will be carried away, but even that also has that power to deliver. Even the gross substance has been purified by chanting the recitation of chapter 5. Even like gross earth, water, fire, ether, whatever body is comprised of, even that has been purified by reciting that chapter. Just by touch of it, they got that much power.
Okay.
Yeah.
So one more thing to add. The
yes,
pure Vaishnava, they are transcendental. For example, Ramanujacharya still go to Srirangam, Tamil Nadu, his body is there. Many Acharya, we keep them, we don't bury them. We keep the dome or something like that. Like now in Karnataka, now recently Udupi, that Acharya has passed away. There is a Udupi, if you see, we kept them. So they are a transcendental body. They are all pure devotees of the Lord. So there is a difference. We just bury them. We put it them into Ganges or whatever it is. But a pure Vaishnava body needs to be preserved because they live there. They live there to give us the mercy. They live us to give us the, because they are pure in the transcendental form. They are doing all this activity for Krishna. There is a difference between the body of a pure Vaishnava and a normal person who is doing it. So they come here to protect us or to deliver us. Their job is they're always there with Krishna. Krishna requests them, my sons are not listening in earth. Can you please go and preach them my message? I've already told them about Gita, but nobody is following. Can you go and preach? They are very dear to Krishna. So on request of Krishna, Vaishnava come as a human form. they try to help us preachers. So they are very, very special. They are not normal living beings. That's why most of the time, all the acharyas and all the sampradaya, they protect the bodies. They create a samadhi, then on the samadhi we go and pray. So they are living there, literally. So they are very merciful. There's a difference between those kind of devotee who chants this Bhagavad Gita, still will have effect.
Okay, Prabhu. Yeah, got it. So the transcendental life, the transcendentalness still lives in the pure devotee, even in the subtle body.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes, shall I continue, Prabhuji?
Yeah, please go ahead.
Okay, thank you, Prabhuji. Yeah, chapter 6, we'll see the story of King Janashruti. So in this past time also we could see the recitation of chapter 6, how it is glorious. In this past time, there was a king called Janashruti in Pratishtanpur. He was a very religious king, and he was very powerful king, and his fame was spread everywhere. So he did a lot of sacrifices and did a lot of charity, and he was taking care of citizens there very nicely. So his fame spread all over. Even demigods used to glorify him. So and they used to be there coming to his kingdom there. So once a time there was demigods coming in the form of swans, and there was one or two swans going a bit ahead. So then one of the swan name was Bhadrashva. So when the swans asked him, "Oh, Bhadrashva, why are you going so fast ahead of all of us?" So then you want to meet Janashruti before us? Why you are going so fast? Then Bhadrashva explains, "Is the king greater than Raikwa, sage Raikwa?" It tells. So that time they were above the palace of king Janashruti, and they could able to he could able to hear what they're talking. So then immediately Janashruti called his charioteer called Maha, and he told him, "Go and search who is the sage Raikwa. He's a great sage. I heard from the demigods Bhadrashva. So who is the sage? So such a great sage. So he's I want to know about him. Where is he?" So then Maha went for searching for sage Raikwa everywhere. He went to many holy places because sages will be there in the dhams or holy places. So he was going to search. He went out for a search. So he went to Mathura, the place of Lord Krishna's pastimes in Mathura. He went to Vrindavan, and he went to Govardhan. So he went all these places for searching for the sage Raikwa. He could not find him anywhere. Although he was searching so much there, and he went to the northern zone of where a lot of snow is there near the Kashmir. He was searching over there, and there he could see there was one temple of Lord Shiva there, and there was a king called Manikeshwar who was worshipping Lord Shiva there in the temple. And near the temple, near to the temple only, there was one tree. Under that, there was one cart where under that he was sitting on sage. And after hearing the description about the sage, what he heard earlier, when he was started searching for sage, he could able to match that, and he went immediately and he paid obeisances to him, asking, "Sage, you are so great. So I heard about you. Like I want to know more about you. Like how you are famous spread all over the world." He told, "I'm satisfied with what I'm having." And he explains that I'm fully satisfied with whatever I'm having. I don't have any hankerings. He tells that to him, and that person understood about the sage Raikwa, and he is the person. And immediately Maha informs this to Janashruti, the king Janashruti, and King Janashruti want to see him. So he took all the money, gold coins, everything, whatever he has wealth amassed, and he want to give as a gift to sage Raikwa and to learn from him more how he become so famous, how he was self-satisfied, how that happened. So you want to know more in detail. So he went to sage Raikwa all the way to that place, and he offered all these things to him. So when he offered all these things to him, Raikwa said, sage Raikwa said, "I don't need all these things. Please take away. I don't want to have all these things." And then but king understood that he's not interested in material things, whatever he has offered him, but he wants to know in depth what is the knowledge, how this king is self-satisfied, and how he wants to know more, because he humbled himself. He took all the wealth back, but he without any ego, he humbled himself. He submissively asked him, "Please teach me this knowledge, what you have learned, and how to come to the stage of self-satisfied." So then immediately the king paid his obeisances. Raikwa was very understood that king has now humbly asking him, and he was not showing any ego, and he was very humble. So Sage Raikwa told him that the glories of chapter 6, what he could read and understand on chapter 6 of Lord Krishna explaining. And by reciting the chapter 6, he understood the importance of Dhyana Yoga and the importance of Bhakti Yoga, which he was practicing. And then immediately King got the knowledge from Sage, understood the importance of chapter 6, and he also performed reciting chapter 6. So, and I heard that in this past time only that King Janashruti went back to Godhead, Vaikuntha. Even the Sage also went back to Godhead. So that was the description. How the reading chapter 6, how it was like make everyone self-satisfied, understanding the importance of devotional practice. And King got benefited from hearing from Sage Raikya, and both of them went back to Godhead in the same lifetime. So that's the glories of chapter 6 from Gita Mahatmya, Padma Purana. Track of time, 5 o'clock now. So
we are on right time, Prabhu. We can go to the slokas.
Okay, Prabhu. Yeah. Thank you, Prabhu. So so that's the past tense. We could see the importance of reciting chapter 4, 5, and 6.
Yeah, Prabhu, what I would request is, there are some of them are newly joined, and we have put up those who are joining for the first time. Thank you very much. Last week we did this chapter 1 and 2. So we have a WhatsApp group. If you are not joined, please join the WhatsApp group, because that's how we can communicate. Every time in sending personal message might be difficult for us. But if you can join our WhatsApp group, it's not only this course, there will be a lot of many courses keep coming. We'll keep doing it throughout the year. So you can join us. That is number one request. Second request, we will share in the WhatsApp the previous recording of YouTube last week's session. For the benefit of everyone, what we'll do is chapter 1 to 2, Prabhu, we will recite all together. Instead of repeating, what we can do is, we will try to recite this twice. Then people can follow. Then from third onwards, you can follow the pattern of last time what we did. Because
Okay,
we have already done that 1 to 2. For people to just follow that, we'll quickly recite all together 1 to 2.
Yes, Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu.
So we can start with doing that pattern.
So we'll recite together, Prabhu. Then this we'll start. Dhritarashtra Uvacha Dharma Kshetre Kurukshetre Samaveda Pandavaseva
Karpanyadosho
Mitvam Dharma Sammodate Yashreyakinchitam Rohitanye Shyavastham Sadimam Tvam Prapannam Dehinotkinyata Dehe Kaumaram Shravanam Jara Tadha Tehantara Prave Dhirastatranamukti Matra Spasya Kaunteya Sitoshna Sukha Dukha Agama Aino Kamsitika Swabharata
Ajayate mriyate va kadachit ayam bhutva pavitara bhuyaha ajanitya shashvatoyam purano nahanyate hanyamane sharire
Neha Vikramana Sosti Pratyavayo Navidyate Svalpamapyasya Jayate Mahato Bhayat Vyavasayapurvapute Eke Papunandana Sakhari Anantasya Udayo Vyavasayinam. विषया वर्तन्ते निराहारस्य देहिनः रसवर्ज्यं रसोऽप्यस्य परं दृष्ट्वा निवर्तते ध्यायतो विषयान् पुंसः अङ्गस्तेषु भुजायते अङ्गात् सञ्जायते कामात् क्रोधाभिजायते क्रोधोद्भवति स्मृतिर्मोहात् स्मृतिविभ्रमः नाशो विनाशात् प्रणश्यति यज्ञासिष्टासिनः सन्तो मुच्यन्ते सर्वकिल्बिषैः We'll recite from here. That's all.
Hare Krishna, everyone. Thank you very much. I think so enthusiastic participation. Many who did it, but there are first time who are now. Follow the pattern, 1 or 2 slokas. They repeat twice. Then from other slokas, they go first. Yeah. Go ahead, Sri.
Yes, Proji. Yagnasishtashinas Shanto. You can repeat twice. No, Proji.
Yeah.
Santo.
Again, one more time. Yagnasishtashinas.
Shanto.
Yeah, now I'll read second line.
Santo.
Yeah, now I'll read second line. After finishing mine, we can repeat twice. Muchyante sarva kilbishaihi.
Muchyante
Muchyante sarva kilbishaihi. Now I'll recite these 2 lines. You can recite twice. I'll recite first, then you can recite twice. Yagnasishtashinas Shanto muchyante sarva kilbishaihi. Now I'll recite this line. You can recite twice. Punjate tva agam papa. Next we'll recite. Next. Yeah, next we'll recite last day. Ye pachanti atma karanat.
ये पचन्ति आत्मकारणात्
Yeah, we'll recite this now. I'll recite once, you can recite twice. Bunjate tva agam papa. Pachanti atma karanat.
पुंजते त्वगं पापाये पचन्ति आत्मकारणात् पुंजते त्वगं पापाये पचन्ति आत्मकारणात्.
Wonderful. Are reciting very nicely. We'll recite now. I'll recite the whole verse once. You can recite the verse 2 times. I'll recite once now. You can listen. Yagnasishtashinas Shanto muchyante sarva kilbishaihi bunjate tva agam papa ye pachanti atmakaranat.
यज्ञसिष्टासिनः सन्तो मुच्यन्ते सर्वकिल्बिषैः भुञ्जते ते त्वगं पापाये पचन्ति आत्मकारणात्. यज्ञसिष्टासिनः सन्तो मुच्यन्ते सर्वकिल्बिषैः भुञ्जते ते त्वगं पापाये पचन्ति आत्मकारणात्.
Amazing. So all are sitting very nicely. So we'll read. We'll read translation for every verse. We'll read translation.
Yeah, they should understand the meaning so that they can easily memorize. Should I read it, Prabhu? Prabhu, we are not able to hear you.
Yes, Prabhu, please.
Anybody want to volunteer reading this?
Prabhuji, shall I read?
Yeah, please.
The devotees of the Lord are released from all kinds of sins before they eat food which is offered first for sacrifice. Others who prepare food for personal sense enjoyment verily eat only sin. the devotees of Supreme Lord or the person who are in Krishna consciousness are called santas, and they are always in love with the Lord as it is described in Brahma Samhita. Prabhu, I can't see now that.
Yeah. I don't know whether he probably his internet connection is poor. Oh, he's come back. Sumita Keshav Prabhu, we are not able to see your screen. You need to share it again.
I'm just sharing. Sorry, there's some internet connection.
Yeah, I thought so.
Can you see now, Roji, my screen?
Yeah.
Probably
Yeah.
I can.
Yeah, sorry. We can continue from here. I think Mata is reading here, this translation.
Prabhu, we read it. Probably you can just give a brief and move on because we have many slides.
Okay, Prabhuji. So basically here Krishna is explaining that we should offer whatever we eat to the Lord first, and then we should honor it as a prasadam. So if you just cook something and you just eat for our sense gratification, that will be we are eating only sin. So Lord explains important principle here, how we can relieve from our sins. So very simple thing, whatever we eat, as Lord explains in 9th chapter also. Patram pushpam phalam toyam yama bhakti prayachate. Offer whatever you like, whatever is possible. Even you can offer it to Lord, like leaf, water, fruit. So offer to Lord with love and devotion. Lord accepts it. We offer to Lord and then we honor it as a prasadam. So we'll be not bonded here. So we'll be free from all the sins. Lord explains in this verse. So we'll go ahead next verse. 3.27. We just read 3.13, third chapter 13th verse. We'll see now third chapter 27th verse. I'll read one line and we can recite twice. Prakrute kriyamanani.
कृते क्रियमाणानि
Again.
कृते क्रियमाणानि
Gunai karmani sarvasaha.
गुणैः
कर्माणि सर्वशः
गुणैः कर्माणि सर्वशः.
Now we'll read again. I'll read first two lines. You can recite twice. Prakrute kriyamanani gunai karmani sarvasaha. Prakrute kriyamanani gunai karmani sarvasaha.
प्रकृते क्रियमाणानि गुणैः कर्माणि सर्वशः. प्रकृते क्रियमाणानि गुणैः कर्माणि सर्वशः.
We'll read now this line. Ahankara vimudatma.
अहङ्कारा विमूढात्मा
Ahankara vimudatma.
Yeah. I will read the last line. Kartaham iti manyate.
Kartaham iti manyate.
कर्ता
Kartaham iti manyate.
Let me recite whole verse once. Prakrute kriyamanani gunai karmani sarvasaha ahankara vimudatma kartaham iti manyate. Can I say it?
प्रकृते क्रियमाणानि
गुणे कर्माणि सर्वेषां
अहङ्कारा आत्मा
आत्मा कर्तामिति
इति मन्यते.
प्रकृतेः क्रियमाणानि
मानानि गुणैः कर्माणि सर्वशः अहङ्कारा विमूढात्मा
Kartaham iti
इति
manyate.
मन्यते.
Read the translation. So can someone read this translation?
The spirit soul bewildered by the influence of false ego thinks himself the doer of activities carried out by the three modes of material nature.
Yeah. So anyone knows what are three modes of material nature? You might have heard earlier sessions, sir. Can you explain? Anyone just want to know, like, you heard about three modes of material nature? Okay. So actually, yeah. Yes, Mataji.
आदिदैवी आदि भौतिक
No, that's are miseries. The three kinds of kleshas which we suffer. Three modes is sattva guna.
Mode of goodness, mode of passion, mode of ignorance.
Amazing. Haribol. Yeah, those are the things. So we'll be in these three modes: Sattva-guna, mode of goodness; Rajoguna, mode of passion; and Tamoguna, mode of ignorance. So we'll be carried out in these three modes. We can see ourselves in these three modes. So Krishna explains here very clearly that we'll be acting in these three modes. So we think that we are the doer of the activities. What are you doing? Living entity just desires. That's it. Remaining everything will be taken care by Lord. So even if you see our own body, there are so much of mechanism in our own body, right? So we don't know. We just eat food, but it get digested. It gives energy. So many things happens which we doesn't know what's happening inside. There is so complex the human body itself. So Lord which has designed, and everything happens by desire of living entity. So rest all things will be taken care by Lord Himself as a super soul who facilitates those things for us. So, but because of falsely identifying that people that I am the doer of, I am doing everything because of me, everything is happening. So they'll be falsely identifying it. So and because of that, they'll be bewildered that I am there, I am doing because of this only everything is happening. But actually, everything, whatever is ability, what we're getting is because of Lord's presence. Otherwise, we'll not have the ability to do our things, normal things also. Even the normal things like digestion will not happen very clearly if there is no Lord's will there. So, but spirit soul gets bewildered that he is doing because of himself, and that's because of the false ego, falsely identifying with this body. And actually, these things are carried out in three modes of material nature that I told as of mode of goodness, mode of passion, and mode of ignorance. So that is this verse, which Krishna explains in 3rd chapter, 27th verse. But yeah, but devotee understands that Lord's presence, and he does his best and leaves less to God. Understand the Lord's presence here. That's very important. So person with Krishna consciousness understands Lord's presence, and Lord's, because of Lord, everything is happening. He does everything as a sacrifice and offering to Lord. So and Lord will facilitate him. So Lord will he understands the presence of Lord. Actually, he will be having the own ego that he is a soul, part and parcel of the Lord. So that's the understanding of this verse. We'll go ahead to next verse. 3.27. Yeah, now we are starting with 4th chapter. Very important verses. 4th chapter. We'll be seeing transcendental knowledge. We'll see 4th chapter, 2nd verse now. We will recite verse now. 4.2. Evam parampara praptam.
Evam parampara praptam.
Evam
Parampara praptam.
Imam rajashayo viduhu.
Imam rajassayo viduhu.
Imam rajassayo viduhu.
Yeah. Now we'll read first two lines. Evam parampara praptam. Imam rajashayo viduhu.
Evam parampara praptim imam rajassayo viduhu. Evam parampara praptim imam rajassayo viduhu.
Very well. So now we'll read this third line. Sakale namahata.
Sakale ne mahata.
Second time.
Sakale ne mahata.
Yeah. Yogo nastha parantapa.
Yogo rasta parantapa.
Yogo nasta parantapa.
We'll read together these two lines now. Sakale neha mahata yogo nasta parantapa.
Sakale neha yogo nasta parantapa. Sakale neha yogo nasta parantapa.
Very nice. So I'll read now once this verse, then we can recite together. Evam parampara praptam imam rajashayo viduhu sakale neha mahata yogo nasta parantapa.
Evam parampara
rajasya viduhu sakale mahata yogo nasta parantapa.
Evam parampara.
We can recite.
Evam parampara praptam
imam
rajasya viduhu sakale mahata yogo nasta parantapa.
Thank you, Mother. Anyone want to recite voluntarily? They can recite this verse.
Evam parampara praptim imam rajassayo viduhu sakale neha mahata yogo nasta parantapa.
Amazing.
Haribo.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Anyone like to recite? Others?
Evam parampara praptam imam rajasya viduhu sakalena mahata yogo nasta parantapa.
Haribo. Thank you, Mataji. So we'll read the translation. Can someone read this translation?
This
Anyone
supreme
can.
science was thus received through the chain of discipline, succession, and the saintly kind kings understood it in this way, but in course of time the succession was broken, and therefore the science as it is appears to be lost.
Yeah. Thank you, Rosie. So this was Krishna is explaining about how we should receive the transcendental knowledge. So I was explaining at the starting of the session that knowledge, transcendental knowledge, should be heard, like it should be heard. So they hear the knowledge, they remember it, they assimilate it, and then again they reproduce it. So it comes from parampara. Krishna is explaining here, evam parampara praptam. So how they receive the knowledge from parampara. So like parampara, like guru, spiritual master will be there, and then disciple, succession, disciple, and then it continues. So the knowledge will be transformed. I mean, it will be like given from guru to disciple, and it will be going like that. So disciple will hear the knowledge, again he'll spread it. So it's a chain. It's a chain. So what happened? Sakalena mahata yogo nasta parantapa. Sakalena, kale means kalam, no, the time. So as the time, for the course of time, this was broken somewhere. So yogo nasta parantapa. Therefore, it appears to be lost. That's why Krishna is telling here, it should be received in parampara, but in course of time it has been broken. So now what doing? Krishna is giving that knowledge to Arjuna. So he explains in further verses that how he has given to sun god this knowledge long back, and now he's giving the knowledge to Arjuna now. So, and also he explains that Arjuna, that this knowledge I'm explaining now, I already given long back to sun god Vivaswan. So he explains in this chapter, 4th chapter. So an important point here is we should get this transcendental knowledge from in parampara. There are 4 paramparas we heard in earlier sessions. It should be heard in the proper parampara, bona fide parampara. So where we receive this transcendental knowledge, so which helps us to understand and come close to God. We'll see the next verse, 4.7. I think this is a very famous verse. So we'll read this verse. I think most of us know this verse. Yeah. Yada yada hi dharmasya.
Yada yada hi dharmasya.
Second time.
Yada hi dharmasya.
Glanirbhavati bharata.
Glanirbhavati bharata.
We'll read 2 lines now. Yada yada hi dharmasya glanirbhavati bharata. Second time.
Yada
We'll read now this line. Abhyuttanam adharmasya. Tadatmanam srujamyaham. We'll read together now. Abhyuttanam adharmasya tadatmanam srujamyaham. Wonderful. Most of you already know. Let's recite together then. This one verse. We'll recite together. Yada yada hi dharmasya glanirbhavati bharata. Abhyuttanam adharmasya tadatmanam srujamyaham. Yeah. Anyone would like to volunteer? Let's read once.
Yada
Wonderful. All of you recited very nicely. So we'll see the translation. Yeah. Little bit. Yeah. Can someone read this translation for me?
Whenever and wherever there is a decline of religious practice, O descendant of Bharata, and a predominant rise of irreligion, at that time I descended myself.
Haribol. Jai. Thank you, bro. So here I think most of us know this verse, very famous verse. Why Krishna come to this material world? Krishna comes to very clearly mentioned here. Whenever there is a religion, Krishna comes to establish the religious practice again. So whenever the religious practice is declined, yada yada hi dharmasya, yada yada, whenever and wherever. certainly, dharmasya, religion. So glani means it's decline is there. So bhavati. So then what happens? Krishna comes. Krishna comes for what? To establish the dharma again. So he comes. He tells that I descend myself. I comes myself. Whenever there is a religion and decline the religious practice, I comes myself. And Krishna explains in next verse very clearly that everyone knows he comes to not only just to establish the religion, but for one more important thing. He explains in this verse now. So we'll read this verse now. 4.8. We completed 4.7, 4 chapter 7. We're reading a 4.8. Paritranaya sadhunam.
Paritranaya sadhunam. Paritranaya sadhunam.
Vinasaya cha duskrutam.
Vinasaya cha duskrutam. Vinasaya cha duskrutam.
Yeah. Read, Roji. We'll read now 2 lines together. Paritranaya sadhunam. Vinasaya cha duskrutam.
Paritranaya sadhunam.
Yeah, we'll read now last 2 lines. Anyhow, I'll read this line. Maybe first one this line I'll read. You can repeat twice. Dharma samsthapanarthaya.
Dharma
Yeah, sambhavami yuge yuge. I'll read once, then you can recite. Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha duskrutam dharma samsthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. One more time. All reciting very nicely. So thank you so much. We'll read the translation now. Can someone read this translation?
To deliver the pious and to annihilate the miscreants, as well as to re-establish the principles of religion, I myself appear millennium after millennium.
Yeah. So as nicely Prabhuji read now, you can see here, Lord saying, I'm appearing millennium after millennium. Sambhavami yuge yuge. I do appear for what? Millennium after millennium. So you can easily understand from the words here. Paritranaya sadhunam. For what Lord comes? First purpose Lord comes is to protect the devotees. That is sadhunam, of the devotees, for the deliverance of devotees. And vinashaya cha duskrutam. Vinashaya means annihilation, destroying. Duskrutam means the miscreants. So and for dharma samsthapanarthaya, to re-establish the principles of religion, Lord comes. When he comes yuge yuge. He comes millennium after millennium, Lord comes. So Lord comes again and again to establish the dharma. Lord comes as Krishna, Lord comes as Rama, Lord comes as different incarnations. Wherever is required, he comes. And he comes as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he establishes the Yuga Dharma. This Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. He comes and establishes the Yuga Dharma. And he makes sure that he protect the devotees, destroy the miscreants, and then he establishes the principles of religion very strongly. So that is about this verse. That is 4th chapter, 8th verse. We'll go to next verse. This is very important verse, 4.9. All these verses are very, very important. So 4th chapter, 9th verse we'll read now. I'll read the first line. You can repeat twice. Janma karma cha me divyam.
Janma karma cha me divyam. Janma karma cha me divyam.
Yeah, we'll read now second line now. Evam yo vetti tatvataha.
Evam yo vetti tattvaha.
I will read now 2 lines. I'll read now, then you can repeat. Janma karma cha me divyam evam yo vetti tatvataha.
Janma karma cha me divyam evam yo vetti tattvaha.
Janma karma cha me
divyam evam yo vetti tattvaha.
Yeah, now we'll read the third line. Tektva deham punarjanma.
Tektva deham punarjanma.
Naiti mameti sorjuna.
Sorjana. Naiti mameti sorjana.
I'll read now one time. जन्म कर्म च मे दिव्यम एवं यो वेति तत्वतः त्यक्त्वा देहं पुनर्जन्म नैति मामेति सोऽर्जुन. You can
जन्म
recite.
कर्म च
कर्म
मे एवं यो
वेति
वेत्ति
तत्त्वतः
तत्त्वतः
पुनर्जन्म
देहं
इति
जन्म
मम
नैति मामेति सोऽर्जुन.
Yeah. Second time.
जन्म कर्म मे
जन्म
दिव्यम्
कर्म च मे दिव्यम् एवं
एवं यो वेत्ति तत्त्वतः देहं
Yeah. Anyone want to recite? Anyone want to volunteer to recite this verse?
जन्म कर्म च मे दिव्यम् एवं यो वेत्ति तत्त्वतः त्यक्तदेहं पुनर्जन्म नेति मम एति सोऽर्जुन.
Okay. Anyone else?
जन्म कर्म च मे दिव्यम् एवं यो वेत्ति तत्त्वतः त्यक्त्वा देहं पुनर्जन्म नैति मामेति सोऽर्जुन.
Haribol, Jai. Very nicely recited, both of you. So we'll read the translation now.
One who attains the transcendental nature of my appearance and activities does not, upon leaving the body, take his birth again in this material world, but attains my eternal abode, O Arjuna.
Yeah, Mataji. Thank you so much, Mataji. So in this verse, Krishna is explaining very clearly about how can we go, I mean, after leaving this body, how can we go back to spiritual world, which is our place, our eternal place where we should go back. So Krishna is explaining here, one who understands like Janma, Karma. You can see, right? Janma means what we all know, birth. Karma means activities, like what are activities Lord performing, which are like not our activities, what we are doing. Lord's activities are Divyam, which is transcendental. It is not of kind of this material nature. Lord's activities are transcendental. So Lord's birth and Lord's activities. So it's mentioned here, right? Lord, my appearance and activities. Janma and karma. Janma karma cha me divyam evam yo veti tatpataha. So evam, like this, anyone, yeah, anyone. Veti means who knows. Tatpataha in reality. Tyaktva. Tyaktva means who giving up. What giving up? Deham, the body. Punarjanma. They will not have again birth. So naiti mameti. So Arjuna is saying they will not naiti. They will not. So and he tells that does attain unto me. So he is explaining here, one who knows the transcendent nature of my appearance and activity does not, upon leaving the body, take this birth again in this material world, does not attain. Sa Arjuna is telling to Arjuna, attains my eternal abode, O Arjuna. So naiti mam, my he'll attain my place. So clearly mentioning here, understanding the Lord's birth, understand the Lord's activities, which are transcendental. So person who really knows about it, what happens is he will not take birth again in this material world, he go back to spiritual world. So so that's the very secret Lord is revealing in this chapter, which is transcendental knowledge. So Divyam means transcendental. The Lord is revealing that knowledge in this verse. We'll go to the next one quickly. Proji, till what time you can complete, Proji? This
4, 5 you completed. 5 also there is 1 or 2. 3, 4, 5. Let us do 3, 4, 5.
Sure, Proji. So,
probably you can go 2 lines, then you one sloka like that.
Okay, Proji.
Lines at a time. 2 lines at a time. Then we repeat it 2 lines at a time. Then go one sloka completely.
Okay, Proji. So we'll do now 2 lines. We'll read now 4th chapter, 11th verse. We'll read 2 lines now. I will read once. You can repeat twice. Ye tamam prapadyante tamstataiva bhajamyaham. Read next 2. Mama vartamanu vartante manushya partha sarvasaha. Second again.
Mama vartaman vartante manusya.
Yeah. I'll recite once, you can hear, then you can recite twice. Ye tamam prapadyante tamstataiva bhajamyaham. Mama vartamanu vartante manushya partha sarvasaha.
मम वर्तते
मनुष्या
सर्वशः.
Anyone would like to recite? Yeah.
ये यथा मां प्रपद्यन्ते तास्तथैव भजाम्यहम् मम वर्तमानो वर्तन्ते मनुष्याः पार्थ सर्वशः.
Very well. Jai Mata. Thank you so much. So this is also one of the important words in 4th chapter. So someone can read the translation.
As all surrender on
As all surrender unto
reward them
Yeah, everyone will get a turn. You can read. Yeah.
accordingly. Everyone follows my path in all respects, O son of Partha.
So here Lord is saying, as how we surrender to Lord, Lord reciprocates that much. So ye yata mam prapadyante. Prapadyante means surrender, right? So ye, all who, yata as unto me, how we surrender, tata certainly Lord is saying, Lord will reward. Lord will reward accordingly. However we reciprocate, Lord will reward accordingly. How much you will surrender, Lord will reciprocate accordingly. So if you put one step towards the Lord, Lord will definitely understand, and He will eagerly waiting for us. So He will definitely reciprocate with us. So we just have to turn towards that Lord. Lord definitely will reciprocate in all the respects. So He's ensuring that Mama Vartamanu Vartante Manusha Partha Sarvasa. So what is, everyone follows my path and in all respects, oh Arjuna, the Lord is saying in this verse. We'll go to the next one. Five point 5.8. Project 4 more verses other 5th chapter. 5:10.
Let me check the time. What's the time?
That's what this is 5:30 now, Proji. So till
Or let's do a recap of all the verses. Probably we can.
okay, Proji.
Right. So before that, one request to all the devotees. Next Sunday, being Gaur Purnima, we will be fasting entire day. We'll be celebrating in the temple. So we may not be able to do this Seva Sunday. Option is that Saturday 4:15 if you are okay. If not, we have to skip that week and we need to continue after that. There are two options.
Proji, your voice is not very clear, Proji.
Okay, I was telling next week, Sunday, we have Gaur Purnima festival. So devotees will be fasting entire day and they'll be celebrating and they'll be in the temple. We will not be able to do this Seva next Sunday. Option is A, we can do it on Saturday 4:15 same time, or we have to skip this and start after that next week. So you can let us know. Hope everyone is okay with Saturday. I would prefer to do it on Saturday. Is everyone is okay with Saturday 4:15 next week?
Yes, Prabhuji. Okay, Saturday, Prabhuji.
They can put in chat also.
Yes.
Okay, Prabhuji.
Yeah. Now what we will do is we can recite the sloka so far what we have learned together.
Yeah.
And probably next week we can continue 5th chapter.
Okay, Proji. Then 4:9.
The slide presentation.
Proji, will read all or will read from 3rd chapter only? 3rd chapter.
3rd chapter. Whatever we read today.
So we'll recite together then, whatever we read. So we'll read from here, 3rd chapter, 13th verse. So we'll recite together this verse. Yagna sista sinasanto musyante sarvakil Atmakaranat. Yeah, we'll read now this verse. 3rd chapter, 27th verse.
Yeah.
Prakrite kriyamanani
karmani sarvasah
ahankara
manyate.
Fourth chapter, 2nd verse. We'll recite this together. Evam parampara praptam
imam rajasayo
mahata yogo 4.7 read now. Yada yada hi dharmasya
ग्लानिर्भवति भारत
अभ्युत्थानं धर्मस्य
तदात्मानं परित्राणाय
परित्राणाय साधूनां
विनाशाय च दुष्कृतं धर्मसंस्थापनार्थं
युगे युगे. Point 9. जन्म कर्म च मे दिव्यम्
एवं यो वेत्ति
Read this verse now. 4.11. Ye yatha mam
मनुष्यार्थ सर्वसः
So we completed whatever we recited today. We have
Anyone has any question? If not, we can recite the entire sloka from beginning to now. Or if anybody wants to ask questions on this, please feel free so. Otherwise, we just want to end by reciting from the beginning to again one more time so that we memorize it next time. When you hear it, then it will automatically memorize. You don't need to make a separate endeavor to memorize it. Any questions? I'll give our pass for a minute. If not, we will recite the entire sloka again and we'll stop there. And the next Saturday is confirmed. Those who are not able to attend, we will send you the YouTube link because we don't want to discontinue this. We want to have a continuation. Next Saturday, 4:15, we'll do that. Sunday, if possible, you can all come to Kumarsamy Layout ISKCON. That's the biggest festival for us. That's a new year for us, as well as Vaishnavas. It's a new year as well. The Mahaprabhu Kali Yuga Avatar, Mahaprabhu's appearance day. We'll all will be fasting till 7. Then there will be Abhishek and like that. So yes, Prabhu, we can get started unless there is no questions.
If no questions, then we'll start reciting together from the first. So we'll memorize it. Dhritarashtra uvacha Dehinosmin yata kumaram yavvanam Neha Vikramana
Swalpamapyasya dharmasya
Kayate Mahato Bhayat Vyavasayatmika Buddhe Kurunandana Vishaya Vinivartante
Niharasya dehina rasavatam rasopasya param rasva nivartate
Jayato Vishayan Angaste Topi Jayate Sangat Santayate Kama Kama Krodad Bhavati ये पत्नीत्मकारणात् प्रकृते क्रियमाणानि कर्माणि सर्वतः अहङ्कारात् इति मन्यते। एवं परंपरा प्राप्तम् अकालेन महता योगो यदा यदा
मनुष्य
Thank you so much. Yeah, we'll stop here, Mata.
Yeah, we will stop here. Please practice it. And anyhow, 5, 6, 7. Probably next week we do 5, 6, 7. Saturday 5, 6, 7 we will do. Because this chapter I have not many. 5, 6, 7 we should be able to do next week. So okay. Any questions? We are officially ending the session, but anybody wants to talk to us, or anybody want to ask some question in person, we will be available for another 2 minutes or 5 minutes or so. Then we will end the session. And also any feedback, any areas of improvement or anything you would like to do, please let us know. We are happy to do that. Hope everyone liked it.
Yes, it was good, Prabhu.
This is the best way to spend our family life with the kids. No, so enthusiastic, everyone reciting nicely. This 45 minutes, I felt like I'm in heaven. Like, really so many. I'm really felt happy that so many families participating enthusiastically, and the kids especially. Wonderful recitation.
I'd like to thank everyone for participating so nicely. So everyone very enthusiastic today. So thank you so much for your participation. So yes, Proji, maybe you can conclude, Proji.
Yeah, please. Ending the session. Thank you very much, everyone. Next Saturday, please remind us next Saturday.
Yes, Proji. Yeah, next Saturday 4:15 p.m. we'll again meet for recitation and memorization of slokas. Yeah.
Thank
Those
you,
who are
sir.
not joined
Thank you
WhatsApp,
for teaching.
those who please request join the WhatsApp group.